When a struggling waitress recognizes her childhood photo in a billionaire's mansion, she uncovers a shocking secret. He's the father she never knew existed. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. The setting sun casts a golden hue across the city skyline. Emma Pierce, 28, dressed in a crisp white shirt and black slacks, her brown hair tied back in a neat ponytail, escorts a well-dressed couple to their table. Despite her professional demeanor, there's a weariness in her eyes that speaks of long hours and deferred dreams. "Right this way, Mr. and Mrs. Daniels. Your usual table by the window," Emma says with practiced ease. "Thank you, Emma. Always a pleasure to see you," Mr. Daniels responds warmly. Emma smiles and hands them their menus before moving back to the host stand. The restaurant is upscale, filled with business people and wealthy patrons. She belongs and doesn't belong simultaneously, comfortable in her role but destined for something else. At the bar sits Harrison Grant, 45, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, sipping an old-fashioned. His eyes follow Emma with interest. He's handsome with salt and pepper hair exuding wealth and confidence. As Emma passes by, he signals her. "Excuse me, miss," Harrison calls out. "Could I possibly get another drink?" Emma approaches with a professional smile. "Of course, sir. Another old-fashioned? Please. And your name is?" "Emma." Harrison extends his hand. "Harrison Grant. I've been watching you work. Extremely professional. This place is lucky to have you." Emma blushes slightly, surprised by the compliment. "Thank you, Mr. Grant. I'll get your drink right away." As Emma walks away, Harrison pulls out his phone and makes a call. "Thomas, I need you to make an addition to the guest list for tomorrow night's charity gala." "Yes, I just found our final server." Later that evening, Emma is cleaning up her section when the manager approaches. "Emma, Mr. Grant would like to speak with you before you leave," he says with raised eyebrows. Emma finds Harrison waiting near the entrance, typing on his phone. He looks up when she approaches. "Ah, Emma. Thank you for meeting with me. I have a somewhat unusual proposition," Harrison begins. "I'm hosting a charity gala at my home tomorrow evening. My event coordinator just informed me that one of our servers canceled last minute. The pay is $500 for the night, plus tips." Emma's eyes widen slightly. "That's more than she makes in 3 days at the restaurant." "That's very generous," she says cautiously. "It's a high-profile event with important guests. I need someone who can handle themselves with grace under pressure. I've been watching you tonight. You're exactly what I'm looking for." Emma hesitates. "I don't know. I'm not sure if—" $1,000, Harrison says firmly. "And you'll be done by midnight. My driver will pick you up and drop you off." Emma's mind races. Her rent is due, and her sister's medical bills are piling up. $1,000 would be life-changing right now. "Okay," she finally says. "I'll do it." Harrison smiles, satisfied. "Excellent. My assistant will text you the details. Black attire, hair up, minimal jewelry. See you tomorrow, Emma." The following evening, a sleek black car pulls up to Emma's modest apartment building. The driver, a stoic man in a suit, opens the door for her. Emma steps in, wearing a simple black dress she borrowed from her roommate, her hair neatly styled, as instructed. The drive takes them out of the city and into the hills, where massive estates hide behind tall gates and long driveways. The car eventually turns into a private road leading to Harrison Grant's mansion, a sprawling, contemporary masterpiece of glass and stone overlooking the city. "Oh my God," Emma whispers to herself as the mansion comes into view. Inside, Emma is directed to a staff area where several other servers are preparing. A stern-looking event coordinator hands her a tray of champagne flutes. "Circulate, smile, don't engage unless spoken to," the coordinator instructs. "Mr. Grant's guests are very particular." Emma nods and heads into the main hall, a 2-story Space with floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the stunning city view. Crystal chandeliers hang from the ceiling, and contemporary art adorns the walls. Well-dressed guests mingle, their jewelry probably worth more than everything Emma owns. As Emma offers champagne to guests, she maintains her professional demeanor, but she can't help feeling overwhelmed by the opulence surrounding her. This is another world, one she's only ever glimpsed from the outside. Harrison spots her from across the room and approaches with a warm smile. "Emma, you made it. Thank you again for helping out on such short notice. Everything going okay so far?" "Yes, thank you, Mr. Grant. Your home is incredible. Please call me Harrison, and thank you. I designed it myself. Architecture has always been a passion of mine. Feel free to look around between serving duties. The art collection is particularly special to me." As the evening progresses, Emma finds herself with a few minutes of downtime. Remembering Harrison's invitation to explore, she wanders down a long hallway lined with artwork. Unlike the main room's contemporary pieces, this hallway features more personal photographs and smaller framed art. Emma walks slowly, admiring each piece, until she stops dead in her tracks. Her heart pounds as she stares at a framed photograph on the wall. It's a photo of two young girls, around 6 years old, sitting on a beach. One is laughing, her front tooth missing, sand covering her knees. The other is building a sandcastle, concentration etched on her small face. Emma's hands begin to shake. The girl with the missing tooth is her. "That can't be possible," she whispers, moving closer to examine the photo. She knows this photo. It was taken at Sandpoint Beach the summer before her parents' divorce, before her father disappeared from her life. It was one of the last happy memories of her childhood. But why would Harrison Grant have this photo on his wall? Emma looks more closely at the other girl in the photo. There's something familiar about her, the shape of her eyes, the curve of her smile, and then it hits her. The other girl is Harrison's daughter, Lily Grant, whose face Emma has seen in society pages and charity event photos. But how? How were they together? Emma racks her brain, trying to remember. Sandpoint Beach was a public beach. They must have met there as children and played together for a day. But why would Harrison frame and display this random photo of his daughter playing with a stranger? "I see you found one of my favorite photographs." Emma jumps at Harrison's voice behind her. She turns to face him, her expression a mixture of confusion and shock. "Mr. Grant?" "Harrison, I don't understand. This is me in the photo. With your daughter?" Harrison's confident expression falters for a moment. "You recognize yourself?" "Of course I do. That's me at Sandpoint Beach when I was 6. But I don't understand why you have this photo or... Wait, did you know who I was when you hired me tonight?" Harrison's eyes fill with an emotion Emma can't quite read, somewhere between sadness and relief. "Emma, there's something I need to tell you. Could we speak in my study? It's more private there." Emma hesitates, a strange feeling of dread and curiosity washing over her. "My guests will be fine without me for a few minutes," Harrison adds gently. Emma nods, following him down another hallway to a warm, wood-paneled study lined with books. Harrison closes the door behind them and gestures to a leather chair. "Please, sit." Harrison pours 2 glasses of whiskey from a crystal decanter, handing one to Emma. His hand trembles slightly, the first crack in his composed demeanor she's seen all night. That photo was taken 22 years ago. Harrison begins, sitting across from her. "Lily and I were at Sandpoint Beach for the day. She met a little girl and they played together for hours, building sand castles and collecting shells. I took that photo because Lily was so happy that day." Emma listens, trying to reconcile this story with her own memories. "But that doesn't explain why you'd frame a photo with a random child, or why you'd hire me tonight," she says carefully. Harrison takes a deep breath. "When I saw you at the restaurant last night, I recognized you immediately. You have the same eyes, the same expression when you're concentrating. I wasn't certain, but I had to find out. Find out what? Emma asks, her voice barely above a whisper. Emma, the girl in that photo with Lily? She isn't a random child. She's my daughter, too. The glass nearly slips from Emma's hand. What? That's impossible. My father was Robert Pierce. Harrison nods, slowly. Robert Pierce was the man who raised you, yes. But Emma, I'm your biological father. Emma stands abruptly, spilling some of her whiskey. This isn't funny. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but your mother's name is Diana. You were born on April 16th. You have a small birthmark shaped like a crescent moon on your right shoulder blade. Emma freezes, her face paling. How do you know? That? Because I was there when you were born. Harrison says quietly. Diana and I, we had an affair. I was young, ambitious, already married to Lily's mother. When Diana told me she was pregnant, I panicked. I gave her money to disappear, to start a new life somewhere else. No, Emma whispers, shaking her head. My dad, Robert, he left when I was 7. My mom never mentioned anyone else. Diana met Robert when you were about 1 year old. He loved you as his own, adopted you legally. I respected their decision to give you a normal life, away from the complications of my world. So that day at the beach was a coincidence. Diana brought you to Sandpoint Beach the same day I brought Lily. You two found each other and played together, not knowing you were half-sisters. When I saw you together, I couldn't resist taking a photo. It was the only one I ever had of you. Emma sinks back into her chair, her mind reeling. Why are you telling me this now? After all these years? Harrison's expression is filled with regret. I've been looking for you for the past 5 years, ever since Diana contacted me. She told me Robert had left, that you were struggling financially. She asked me to help, but to keep my distance. I've been sending money anonymously through a foundation I set up, the Pierce Education Fund. Emma gasps. My college scholarship? That was you? Harrison nods. Yes, but then you dropped out in your 3rd year and I lost track of you. Diana wouldn't tell me why you left school or where you went. She said you needed space. My sister, my half-sister, I guess, got sick, Emma says, her voice hollow. Sarah needed treatment. Mom couldn't afford it alone, so I quit school to work. Sarah isn't related to me, Harrison clarifies gently. She's Robert and Diana's biological child. Emma's eyes fill with tears. She's still my sister. And we've been killing ourselves trying to pay her medical bills while you've been living in this palace. I didn't know, Emma. I swear I didn't know about Sarah's illness or your situation. If I had, what? You would have helped? Like you helped when I was a child? Emma stands again, anger replacing shock. You abandoned us. You gave my mother money to disappear, and then what? Just went on with your perfect life? Harrison rises too, his face anguished. It wasn't like that. I was young and scared. I made a terrible mistake, one I've regretted every day since. When I saw you at the restaurant last night, it felt like fate giving me a second chance. Emma paces the study, her mind racing with this new reality. Everything she thought she knew about herself has been upended in minutes. Does Lily know about me? She asks suddenly. No, Harrison admits. I haven't told her yet. I wanted to find you first, to be sure. To be sure of what? That I was worthy of being acknowledged as your daughter. Emma's voice rises with emotion. Or were you planning to offer me money to keep quiet, like you did with my mother? Emma, please, Harrison says, his voice breaking. That's not fair. I've made mistakes, terrible ones, but I've been trying to make amends in the only ways I knew how. By secretly paying for things? That's not being a father. That's easing your conscience. A soft knock interrupts them. The door opens slightly and a woman peers in, elegant, around Emma's age, with Harrison's eyes. Dad? Thompson said you were in here. The foundation director wants to speak with you about the donation announcement. Emma freezes, staring at Lily. Grant, her half-sister. Lily notices her and smiles politely. "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were in a meeting." Harrison looks between his two daughters, momentarily speechless. Emma sees the resemblance now. They have the same chin, the same slight dimple when they smile. "It's fine," Emma says quickly, wiping away a tear. "I was just leaving." Emma. "Wait!" Harrison calls as she moves toward the door. "Emma!" Lily repeats, her brow furrowed. "Wait! Are you Emma Pierce?" Emma stops, surprised. "You know my name?" Lily's eyes widen. "Of course I do. Dad keeps a file on you in his office. I found it years ago." She turns to her father, accusation in her eyes. "Is this her? Is this my sister?" Harrison sinks into his chair, the weight of 22 years of secrets finally crushing him. "Yes, this is Emma." The room falls silent. Emma, Harrison, and Lily form a triangle of stunned faces and unspoken words. Lily is the first to break the silence. "I've known about you since I was 15, she says to Emma. "I overheard Dad arguing with someone on the phone about a trust fund for Emma. When he left his office, I searched through his files and found pictures of you, your school records, everything." "Lily," Harrison begins, but she cuts him off. "I kept waiting for him to tell me the truth," Lily continues, her voice shaking. "I always wanted a sister. I used to make up stories about meeting you someday." Emma feels dizzy with the implications. "This is insane. All this time." "I should have told you both years ago," Harrison admits. "But the longer I waited, the harder it became." Lily moves closer to Emma, studying her face. "You look like him around the eyes. And you have our grandmother's hands." Emma unconsciously glances at her hands, then at Harrison's. The similarity is undeniable. "Does Mom know about this?" Lily asks her father sharply. "She's always known," Harrison says quietly. "It nearly destroyed our marriage when she found out, but we worked through it. For your sake." Lily turns back to Emma. "Is your mother here tonight? Is she one of the guests?" Emma shakes her head. "No. She works night shifts as a nurse. She has no idea I'm here." A thought suddenly strikes her. "Oh God, does she know you were looking for me? Does she know about tonight?" "No," Harrison admits. "Diana made me promise years ago that I wouldn't interfere in your life directly unless you reached out first. When I saw you at the restaurant, I broke that promise." Emma struggles to process everything. "I need some air," she says, heading for the door. "Emma, please don't leave," Harrison stands. "We have so much to talk about." "Like what? How you're going to fit me into your perfect life? Or are you just going to offer me a check and hope I disappear again?" Emma's voice cracks. Lily steps forward. "Emma, I know this is overwhelming. I can't imagine how you feel right now. But please, don't leave like this. At least let me give you my number. We could talk. Just you and me." Emma hesitates, looking at Lily, this stranger who shares her blood, who's known about her for years, while she remained ignorant. "Fine," she finally says, pulling out her phone. They exchange numbers quickly. "Your guests are waiting," Emma reminds Harrison coldly. "Wouldn't want to keep them waiting for their host." "Emma," Harrison begins. "I'll finish my shift. I need the money, but after tonight, I don't know what happens next." The remainder of the evening passes in a blur for Emma. She serves drinks, smiles at guests, and tries to ignore the weight of Harrison's gaze following her around the room. Lily attempts casual conversation whenever Emma passes near, but both sisters are too stunned for meaningful exchange. At midnight, as promised, Emma's shift ends. She changes back into her street clothes in the staff area and heads for the front door, exhausted physically and emotionally. Outside, Harrison's driver waits to take her home, but she sees Harrison himself standing by the car. He looks older than he did just hours ago, the burden of revelation etched into his face. "I had Thompson prepare this for you," he says, holding out an envelope. "Your payment for tonight, plus Sarah's outstanding medical bills. There's a name and number for a specialist who can help her. The best in the country. Emma stares at the envelope but doesn't take it. I don't want your money. It's not about what you want, Emma. It's about what Sarah needs, Harrison says gently. You don't have to forgive me. You don't even have to see me again if that's what you choose. But please don't punish Sarah because you're angry with me. Emma reluctantly takes the envelope, tears welling in her eyes. I can't process any of this right now. Finding out my whole life is based on lies. That I have a sister I never knew about. That my real father has been watching me from afar for years. I understand, Harrison says, his voice breaking. But Emma, please know that I never stopped thinking about you. That photo on my wall, it's been there since the day it was taken. It's the first thing I see every morning and the last thing I see at night. Emma's composure finally breaks. Tears stream down her face as years of questions about her identity and her absent father come crashing down around her. Why didn't you want me? She asks, her voice small and childlike. Harrison's face crumples. Oh, Emma, it was never about not wanting you. I was a coward. I was selfish and afraid of losing everything I'd built. By the time I realized what I'd truly lost by giving you up, it was too late. Diana had met Robert, and you had a father who loved you. I thought staying away was the right thing to do. You thought wrong, Emma says, wiping her tears away. I know that now, and I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make it up to you if you'll let me. Before Emma can respond, the front door opens and Lily steps out. She's changed from her evening gown into jeans and a sweater, a small overnight bag in her hand. I thought you might need company, she says to Emma. I could come with you, maybe stay the night. We could talk, or not talk, whatever you need. Emma looks between Harrison and Lily, these strangers who are her blood family. The realization hits her that she can't run from this truth no matter how much it hurts. Okay, she finally says to Lily. You can come. Harrison watches as his daughters climb into the back of the car together. One he's known and loved openly all her life, the other he's loved from a painful distance. As the car pulls away, he remains standing in the driveway, a man facing the consequences of choices made decades ago. 3 months later, a different gathering takes place in Harrison's home. It's smaller, more intimate, just family. Diana sits somewhat uncomfortably on the sofa, watching as Sarah plays a board game with Lily on the floor. Emma stands by the window, looking out at the view. Harrison approaches her, 2 cups of coffee in hand. He offers one to Emma, who accepts it with a small smile. Sarah looks better, he observes cautiously. The new treatment is working, Emma acknowledges. The doctors are optimistic. And your classes? Are they going well? Emma nods. It's strange being back at school after so long, but good, thank you for making it possible. They stand in silence for a moment, watching the sunset. A father and daughter still learning how to exist in each other's lives. Mom's agreed to dinner next week, Emma says eventually. Just the 2 of you. She says there are things you need to discuss. Harrison looks surprised but nods. I'd like that. I've been thinking about that photo, Emma says after another pause. The one of Lily and me at the beach? What about it? It's strange how life works, isn't it? 2 sisters playing together, completely unaware of who they were to each other. And now here we are. Harrison looks at his daughter, seeing both the wounded woman and the little girl from the beach. Do you think you'll ever be able to forgive me, Emma? Emma considers the question carefully. I'm not there yet, but I'm trying to understand. We all made choices. You, Mom, even me. I chose to track you down after Lily told me everything. I chose to come back here today. And I'm grateful you did, Harrison says sincerely. From across the room, Lily calls out, Emma, come help me. Sarah's destroying me at this game. Emma laughs, a genuine, unguarded sound that gives Harrison hope. I should go rescue my sister. From my other sister. As Emma walks away, Harrison remains by the window. On the wall nearby hangs the beach photograph, now joined by newer photos of his expanded family. There's one of Emma's college graduation, another of Sarah's last birthday celebration, and one taken just last month of Emma and Lily with their arms around each other, laughing at something off camera. The wall tells a story now, not just of what was lost, but of what has been found, of second chances and new beginnings, of a family fractured by secrets but slowly healing through truth. Diana catches Harrison's eye from across the room and gives him a small nod. They both know the road ahead is long and uncertain, but for the first time in 22 years, they're all walking it together. 1 year later, Emma stands in front of the same photograph that had shocked her that fateful night. She's no longer a waitress, but a graduate student in social work, living in a small apartment that she can afford thanks to a trust fund Harrison established for her, one she initially rejected but eventually accepted as her birthright, not charity. Tonight is Harrison's annual charity gala, but this year Emma isn't serving drinks. She's a guest, wearing a simple but elegant black dress, her hair loose around her shoulders. "There you are," Lily says, approaching with 2 champagne flutes. She hands one to Emma. "Dad's looking for you. The foundation director wants to take photos with the whole family." "The whole family," Emma repeats softly. The words still feel strange on her tongue, a concept she's still adjusting to. "Hey," Lily says, noticing her sister's contemplative mood. "Are you okay?" Emma gestures to the beach photo. "Just thinking about how much has changed since I first saw this picture. Sometimes I still can't believe it." Lily links her arm through Emma's. "Well, believe it, sis. You're stuck with us now." They share a smile, one that speaks of a bond that transcends their complicated beginnings. Despite growing up in vastly different worlds, they've discovered a deep connection that feels both new and somehow ancient, as if their souls recognized each other long before their minds did. Harrison approaches his daughters, pride evident in his eyes. Sarah follows close behind him, her health much improved over the past year. "There are my girls," Harrison says warmly. The photographer is waiting in the library. As they begin to walk away, Emma casts one last glance at the beach photograph, a frozen moment that once represented everything she didn't know about herself, but now serves as a reminder of how paths that diverge can sometimes find their way back to each other. Harrison notices her looking and pauses. "I think it's time we took a new photo, don't you? One where we're all aware of who we are to each other." Emma nods, feeling the weight of the past year, the anger, confusion, forgiveness, and gradual healing, settle into something like peace. "I'd like that," she says, taking her father's offered arm. Later that night, after the formal photographs are taken and the gala is in full swing, Diana arrives, fashionably late and slightly nervous. She's been gradually finding her place in this expanded family dynamic, her relationship with Harrison evolving into something like friendship after decades of complicated history. "Mom," Emma calls, waving her over. "Come meet some of my classmates." Diana approaches, elegant in a borrowed dress. As she passes Harrison, they exchange a knowing look, one that acknowledges their shared past and the extraordinary present they've created through their daughter. The event photographer captures the moment. Emma in the center, flanked by her 2 families, the one she was born to and the one that raised her. The 2 worlds no longer separate, but merged into a new reality that feels, against all odds, exactly right. 5 years later, a small gathering takes place at Sandpoint Beach, the very spot where 2 little girls once built sandcastles together, unaware of their shared blood. Emma, now a licensed social worker specializing in family reunification, watches as her young daughter plays in the sand with Lily's son. The cousins dig and build together, their laughter carrying on the summer breeze. Harrison sits nearby on a beach chair, older now but more at peace than he's ever been. Diana sits beside him, the two of them sharing stories about Emma's childhood, filling in the gaps of the years they spent apart. Sarah, now a healthy young woman pursuing a medical degree, takes photos of everyone with her camera. "For the wall," she explains when Emma questions her. "What wall?" Emma asks. "Dad's wall of family. Photos. I figure we need a new beach photo, don't you think, to show how the story continues." Emma smiles, watching their children play. The next generation, unburdened by the secrets that once divided their family. "Yes," she agrees. "A new photo would be perfect." Harrison overhears and meets his daughter's gaze. In her eyes, he no longer sees accusation or hurt, but acceptance. Not everything has been forgiven. Some wounds leave permanent scars, but they found a way forward together. As the sun begins to set over the water, Sarah gathers everyone for a group photo. They stand together in the golden light, arms around each other, a family portrait that tells a story of separation and reunion, of secrets revealed and healing begun. In the background, their children continue to play, building a sandcastle. Together, just as their mothers once did on this very beach, the day a photograph was taken that would one day bridge two worlds.